Hey everybody, Fletch from All Things Overlanding here. On today's video, I'm going to be talking about a pretty cool product that I'm kind of excited about. So today I'm going to be talking about the Lifedoo fire pit. It's a really cool design. I actually am really excited to use it because so if you guys have seen, I'll put a tag up here to my Yuco gear, folding fireplace. It's really nice, that one is, but it's really small. Like, you can only really burn sticks and stuff in it. You can't really even put a log or anything like that in it because it's so small. This thing is actually fairly good size. So you can see, this is it all folded down here, but this base here that it sits in is about the size of the fire pit when it's assembled. And I'll show you that here in a second when I assemble it. But so, it's a pretty good sized fire pit that you could actually put logs in and stuff. You could burn, you know, a regular size fire in it. So I'm pretty excited about that. So, you know, it came in this box and I start to read this box and I see this big cuss word right here and I'm like, what the heck? And I start to read this stuff. So apparently, this is feedback that they've gotten and then incorporated into the design of their fire pit, but they put it on the box, and the stuff that it says is actually pretty damning. It's pretty funny. But so it says like, Lifedoo product heavy as shit, and it has a little fire guy next to it. It says, it's too simple. It says, Lifedoo, no! When it heats up, it will buckle, then probably it will be hard to assemble. Oh my goodness, are you really gonna get this? Ash disposal is the issue. It's not a pit. Oops, too much smoke. You know, I see it, I just don't see it being practical. There is no grate. It's a bit expensive and there are not any accessories. The airflow is not good. I'm going to choke on the smoke. It says every user is our designer. So like, I didn't see that at first. I just saw all this stuff and I was like, are they talking crap about their own product on the box that they set it in? Like, that's kind of funny, right? But yeah, that basically I guess this is feedback that they've received that they then incorporated into the fire pit. So I thought that was kind of funny. And it kind of, again, when I saw the cuss word on it, I'm like, what is on this box? So, you know, initial impressions, it is heavy as shit. Like, they were not lying about that, and I'm sure that they probably worked to cut it down. I like that in one regard because it makes me think that it is quality, right? Like, if it was really, really, really light, then I would be worried about it buckling and sort of falling apart. But the end pieces do seem to be made of like a really high quality steel and fairly thick too. And then there's this sort of aluminum base that goes underneath of it that will, you know, catch the ash for you. So it kind of gives you that a little bit of a nice extra feature, you know, versus my folding fire pit, which doesn't have a mat or anything to catch the ashes under it. So it's hard to clean up, right? It makes a mess. It oftentimes will set the ground on fire. So I'm curious to see what happens with this in the base when I use it tonight. You know, they said on the box that it doesn't come with a grate, so they must have at some point decided to include a grate so you could cook food on it or set like a pot or pan on top of it, which is pretty cool. These are the end pieces, so, you know, they've CNC machined their name into them. They've got these different, to me it almost seems like, and I haven't quite figured it out yet, it doesn't come with any instructions or anything, so you kind of have to figure it out. But it looks to me like you can pick different configurations, right? So you could either put it in, you know, this is the side of it, okay? So this fits into these holes, but so you could either pick those holes and make it more of a wide open fire, or you could narrow it down by putting it in those holes and make it a little bit more narrow. So it's kind of cool that you've got some options as far as how you want to set it up, how wide you want your opening in the bottom to be. So basically there are two sides that go in here, and again, I'll show you this here in a second, so that the ash can fall down through the bottom. I believe, and if I'm wrong about this, if Lifedoo sees this and I'm wrong about this, tell me. I believe, so there are holes in the bottom down here. I believe that when you assemble it, this little grate goes in the bottom to keep like sticks and stuff from falling through. So this is just sort of a stick catcher, I guess, so that the ash can fall through, but then the sticks and your material doesn't fall through the bottom. So again, I'm going to show you me setting this up. I'm going to get it all set up because I'm going to use it tonight. I'm going to burn wood in it. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it, you know, initially, and then I'll do a long-term review later on after I've gotten time to use it a little bit more. One thing that I do kind of wish that it had, that it doesn't seem to have, is some sort of like a bag or something to carry it in. So once I burn something in this, you know, it's going to be filthy dirty. It's going to be covered in ashes. And I'm going to put it back. It is kind of nice with the tray that it comes with. At least I have something to set it in. So I'm going to set it back in the tray. So that'll kind of keep it a little bit from making a mess in my truck. But at some point I'm probably going to try and find like an old duffel bag or an old backpack or something to store this thing in, just to kind of give me an option. Or I may look online, maybe there's something on Amazon. If I find something like a fire pit carrier or something heavy duty canvas that would work as a bag, I'll put a link in the description to that as well. But let's get it set up and let's see how this thing looks in action. So I'm not going to use the grate. I'm not going to actually cook on this. I'm just going to use it as a fire pit tonight. But so, again, two ends. There are three of these poles that I believe hold up the fire pit grate. So basically you put this thing together like this. I'm gonna go wider because I want to have a bigger fire. And once you get a couple in there, then it's not too bad. It'll kind of stand up on its own. I mean, again, this is the kind of the price you pay for the, you know, folding flat sort of feature, right? So you put it in there, put it in there, just like that, and just kind of push them together. Cool. Shoot, that one's upside down. Okay. So, but make sure that these tabs, these sort of like cutouts, are at the top and that the holes are at the bottom. So now it's all together. My handles are both at the top, along with my little cutout lines, and my holes are at the bottom. So then again, I think this kind of, you fit it through the holes down here, and then that will just sort of hold your firewood in, but let the ashes fall through. Then if you were gonna use your grate, and I think you would just set these in here like this, and then you could set your grate on top. So again, if you were gonna cook hamburgers, hot dogs, something like that, you know, you could put your firewood in there, put this stuff on top, put your pot on there, put your hamburgers, buns, whatever, on top of here, and you could cook with it. Again, I'm gonna use it as a fire pit tonight, so I'm just gonna take all this out, and I'm just gonna put my logs straight in there. The ash is gonna fall through to the bottom. The thing that's really cool about it, and that I like about it, is that it's got really great airflow, right? Like, you've got air flowing through the sides, you've got air flowing through the bottom, so similar to the pop-up fire pit that I've used. I like that it gets the fire up off the ground and lets the air flow to it so that it cleans it up, reduces the smoke, and makes it burn a little bit hotter. So I'm using my normal standard Weber grill lighter cubes. If you haven't seen these before, they're awesome. They're about $4 for a pack of 24 of them. That's why I buy them. They're cheap. They're intended to actually start like a charcoal grill. They burn for probably about 4 or 5 minutes. They burn pretty hot. And so you can throw a couple of them in under some sticks and you've got a fire going within minutes. It's super easy. They'll light right up from a lighter, which is pretty nice. Actually, I think that one may be on already. So they get going pretty quick, which is pretty nice. And then you just throw your sticks on top. So I'm just gonna build this thing up over top of it in the Lifedoo here. And once it gets going on the sticks, then, you know, again, I'm gonna use this all night. So we're gonna see how this thing does. We're gonna see how it holds up. We'll see if it warps or bends or anything like that. It seems pretty sturdy, so I'm not really too worried about it, but it's just kind of nice because I can have this wherever I want. There is actually a fire pit in this dispersed site that I'm at right now, but it's kind of a mess. It's got a bunch of trash in it and stuff, which I'm going to clean up here in a minute, but I just figure why even use it when I've got this fire pit that I can use, you know, wherever I want. So it allowed me to kind of move the fire to a location of my choosing instead of having to go right where the fire pit is. A lot of bugs out today too, so this fire will be good, I think, to hopefully smoke some of them out a little bit, get rid of them. Alright guys, so thoughts so far. It's been going for about 15-20 minutes now. Just little stuff right now. I'm stacking up some logs over here that I'm going to put on it later as it burns down a little bit. But I mean, definitely you can tell just from looking at the way the flames are going up like that, and you can see the airflow coming up from underneath of it. There's also not very much smoke, which I do like as well. So from a design standpoint, it seems to work really well. I don't see any fatiguing or like weird discoloration. Again, it's only been a little bit, so we'll let it go all night, and then I'll come back to you if there's, you know, big fatigue or wear or buckling or anything like that. But so far so good, and you can definitely see the ashes falling through the bottom too. So again, it's kind of self-cleaning in a way, right? It's going to keep just falling, the ashes will keep falling down into that tray all night as we burn more wood, and then the next day you let it cool off, you take it all apart, you dump your ashes wherever you'd like. So I'll take them over to the existing fire pit probably and just dump them in there. It's putting out a ton of heat too, so especially with it open, I've got it in the more open configuration, it's hot. So if you were, you know, where I'm kind of picturing this being really handy is I do a lot of winter camping, right? So in the winter, it's pretty hard to get a fire started on the ground. It's also, you know, disadvantageous because you've got the wet, the snow, that kind of stuff to contend with. The ground just kind of seems to suck the heat right out of a fire. But so to be able to set this tray up on top of some snow, for example, and just get the fire going that way. Should be pretty handy, particularly in like inclement weather, that kind of stuff. All right guys, so the fire has been going in the Lifedoo pit for probably about an hour now. One thing that I did notice that I wanted to show you guys really quick that's kind of interesting is that whatever the black coating is that they put on it, after just an hour is starting to flake off there, which, I mean, kind of makes sense. I mean, it's a fire, right? But I don't know, like I don't understand what the point of putting the stuff on. I thought it was like powder coat or high heat paint or something like that, but it's just kind of flaking off. So again, I'm not sure that that's necessarily a defect, but I just kind of found it interesting. Again, it doesn't hurt the thing. It doesn't make it, you know, work any less, but just kind of interesting. Again, I don't really know why they put the coating on it aside, you know, I mean, if it's just going to burn off, but just wanted to show you guys that. So again, I really like it. If you're interested in this fire pit, I'll put a link down below to the fire pit. Definitely go check it out. If you have any questions or anything, I'd love to hear from you guys. Just post up in the comments down below. Let me know if you use the same fire pit. Let me know if you use a different one. What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? And I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. So thanks again for watching. And if you don't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and click that bell button to be notified when new videos drop. I drop a couple videos a week, so there's tons of content always coming out about gear, overlanding. You know, I have an Nissan Xterra, so I talk about that quite a bit. Anything to do with camping and overlanding, pretty much, you'll find on this channel. So again, also come over on Facebook, Instagram, come and hang out over there as well. I'd love to chat with you guys. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.